Well, thought the guys went out there and competed hard. We talked about establishing the run game and being able to stop their running game, make them one-dimensional. We did a good job with that. I would say we still left a lot of plays out there, but we're going to enjoy this one on the flight home and get ready for next week. But very proud. My message to the players, they gave me the Gatorade shower and things like that, but without them, I'm nothing. So, and I made sure they knew that. Like, they crossed the white lines. I always talk about empowering the players to go out there and play. I always talk about awareness really being the number one thing, and those guys taking ownership. So, all the praise goes to those guys, and they did a great job.
Jerod, you've been waiting for this day for quite a while, obviously. What was your day like, and what was it like to walk off that field and go into that locker room with a win?
Yeah, the day started off solid, just like any other day. Walking off the field, though, really getting in that victory formation, just kind of feel a rush over yourself. And I'm going to enjoy this one here for the next couple of hours, but, truth be told, it's what have you done for me lately type of business. So time to turn the page. Not trying to rain on anyone's parade, but turn the page and get ready for the next game.
How would you describe the experience, Jerod, making those decisions, facing a fourth down, maybe thinking you might be in two-down territory? Like, how did you just find this stuff running through your mind and being able to make the decisions?
It was just part of, I've been playing football my entire life, and I was a great Madden player back in the day. But I understand situational football. I would also say our staff understands situational football, and we talked through those things. And like I said all week, I have to make the ultimate decision, and felt good about the way it operated today.
Jerod, what can you say about your defense, the way they played today?
Yeah, they came out on fire. We challenged those guys. Everyone's talking about Cincy's offense and how explosive they are, and they answered the call. Started up front. All those defensive linemen, those guys did a good job controlling the line of scrimmage. The second level players, the LBs, they did a good job coming downhill. A couple plays in the pass game, and then really our safeties and corners, those guys did a good job covering. So it was a total unit victory.
Sure. You talked about the importance of the run game heading into this week. What did you make of Ramondre Stevenson's performance?
I challenged Ramondre in the spring. I said, look, you don't get a lot of love, a lot of hype, but I've always believed that he's one of the best running backs in the league. And, when we signed him to the extension, there was no one more happy than me because I know what he's capable of, and he showed that today. He can catch the ball at the backfield, he can run, break tackles, and do all those things. So he's a great player.
Jerod, since January, we talked to you about defense and run game. Those two things. Today you guys kind of hit that formula. What was it like to kind of see that come to fruition?
Oh, it was great. It was great. You always come in with a plan. They say God laughs at plans, and what Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until you get hit in the mouth. But, in the first half, we were averaging 6.1 yards a carry and able to control, once again, the front. And, defensively, we did a good job against their run game. Until the second half, there were a few runs, but, started up there.
Was there a moment in the first half?
Next one. He has the next one. It's almost like double dutch. Y'all ever see double dutch? You're like hesitating to get in. Next one.
For a moment in the first half, where you said we have this, so the coaches not allowed themselves that much in terms of winning.
Sorry,
For a moment in the first half where you said, we got this.
I would say the way we were running the ball. I felt pretty confident about that. That was, from the beginning to the end, really. Our offensive line, they did a great job, led by David Andrews and, Big Mike. Those guys did a great job. Having Lowe here as well, it was good to, get him in the game. And they were moving bodies, and that's what it's about. And so when I talk about fundamentals, that's part of it. Defensively, block destruction. Offensively, opening up gaps, opening up holes, and those guys did that today. Nope. I got you.
David Andrews just mentioned that Robert Kraft's first win as an owner came here against the Bengals. I'm going to assume he didn't know that unless it was mentioned in the locker room after the game, maybe with Robert in there delivering you a football.
Yeah.
What is that?
It was special. It was special, and I just want to thank the Kraft family, Robert, Jonathan, all of them, Danny, all those guys, Josh, just for the opportunity and really for not really getting in the middle of anything that we do football-wise. They've pretty much turned the keys over to Elliot and myself and the rest of the staff, and I'm just appreciative of the opportunity, and I'm glad that we came in here today and represented the Crafts in a good light.
Coach, you mentioned Jacoby Brissett's decision-making and ability to protect the football. What did you think about his effort?
Sorry, say it again.
Jacoby Brissett, you mentioned his decision-making and how important that was with him as a starting quarterback. What did you think of his effort?
It was great. It was great. He made plays with his legs. He made plays with his arm. And, he just played he's a tough guy. I'm telling you, he took some hits in the game. I'm just like, man, get up. But he did everything that we asked him to do in the week, and we came out of here with the victory.
Are you
Rod, you
guys
talked
for
a little bit
souvenirs,
about-
Gerard? Are you gonna keep anything from the game? Did they give you a ball?
Yeah, Mr. Kraft gave me a ball. So,
Are you wanting to keep them? Do you-
absolutely keeping that one. And then I also gave Elliot a ball. So I think it's a special moment.
Who do you think of, when it comes to this first win and what it means to you and your family, just people that have helped you along the journey?
Yeah, a lot of people talk about how they're self-made and things like that, but we've all had people that have helped us along the way. And, I definitely think about my family. I think about my grandparents. I think about my Pop Warner coaches and all the people who instilled not only the X's and O's in football, but also just how to operate in life. And one thing, you guys would notice about me, you can write whatever you want to write. I'm pretty much like stoic. I'm stoic. I try not to get too high. I try not to get too low. And that's always been my mentality from a little kid up until now.
Is that your first Gatorade?
That was my first Gatorade bath, yeah. It was cold. I felt worse for my shoes, though. I was like, these are done.
You guys were,
Ladies first. No, go ahead.
you guys were betting underdogs in all 17 of your games. I think you were a very popular survivor pick. The Bengals are a very popular survivor pick this week. Did you use that as a motivation?
Not at all. Not at all. And we try not to hear anything on the outside. And I told those guys all week, it's all about us in this building. There's no one going to come in here on a white shining horse and save the day. And I said, look, you guys are here for a reason. And it's all we got and it's all we need.
David was saying earlier he wanted to ask you, how does it feel winning as a head coach versus winning as a player? How does it feel? What is the difference for you?
Yeah, I've talked about my calling a lot, and winning as a coach is huge. And once again, not for what it does for me, but what it does for those players out there. I just can't say enough about the players.
What does it mean also, the fact that you talked all week long about complementary football, and you seem to get it at its best from the offense, defense, and special teams?
Yeah, those guys just playing hand in hand, and we had a plan. They knew the plan. It was articulated well throughout the week, and they executed. You can have all the mantras and things that you want, but on game day, it all comes down to execution. You can have all the rah-rah speeches. It's all about discipline. And so those are the things that hopefully that we can continue to build on going forward.
Gerard, what do you think in the last week about conditioning? How did the conditioning of the football team show itself?
Yeah, it showed up. In the run game, it was just like, hey, keep going. I did talk about this on, Friday when, you looked at those other games and conditioning definitely showed up. And I would say our guys are in good condition.
You got a home opener coming up next Sunday. Anything to the fans as you say it back to them?
For the fans, hopefully they see what we're trying to build. And I talk about it takes time, and we're still not where we want to be, but we're headed in the right direction.
Gerard, do you think your decision to be in pads a lot, tackles on the ground, play your starters in the preseason, do you think that showed up today?
I'm not sure. I asked some friends like how the Ravens and how the Chiefs practiced and how their camp went, and it was like total ends of the spectrum. And I would say those were two teams where I was like, man, they're getting tired here, and that's why I was so heavy on that with our team. I'm not sure to answer that question.
Gerard, how do you sense about your team, Gerard, that you were able to run the clock out late, where they kicked the ball back to you basically, you run it out?
Yeah. There comes a point in time where they know we're going to run it, we know we're going to run it, and all the fans know that we're going to run it, and we're going to have to pick up 4 yards. And that's the challenge that I always offer to those guys. And, look, it's really man-on-man in those instances. It has nothing to do really with X's and O's. It's about, dominating the player across from me, and those guys did that.
Two final questions, guys. Defensively, how did you?
Why you keep doing that? No, go ahead.
We're opposite. I was just going to say you admitted to being stoic, but what other emotions would you reveal? Are you happy inside?
Oh, I'm absolutely happy. I don't want you to take this whole stoicism as being unhappy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm definitely happy to get out of here with the win and happy for the players in the organization.
Did you guys put a lid on that passing game for the Bengals? Barrow completed a lot of passes, but he's under 6 yards per attempt. I don't think he really hit one down the field until late to chase. How do you guys do that?
We just kept it moving. We ran a bunch of different coverages, a bunch of different fronts, and then there in the second half there were a lot more, quick passes. They were trying to get them in a rhythm. That's how I felt. That's how I was seeing the game. And he had a couple of big plays, but we said, look, if we win the turnover battle, we don't give up big plays, I will be okay. Make these guys drive it, and that's what we did. Thanks, guys.